I would get this one. We're making this up as we go. Hey everyone, it's me Bailey and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I'm going to be doing my February TBR. So this video is already a little late. I'm already filming it a little late and I've already read books this month. So we're just gonna pretend like I haven't done any of that and that it's not already been a week into the month. So we're just gonna pretend like that's not happening. I did want to talk about my TBR. I have done many TBR videos on this channel. However, I don't always stick to them. And I've tried a few different methods of the TBR. I have tried spinning a wheel. I've tried just picking random books that I felt like I was in the mood to read, but like ended up not being in the mood to read, and just like all kinds of random stuff. So I have decided to officially try out the TBR jar. So this is a jar full of colored pieces of paper that have different reading prompts on them. So each color does not matter. Like it's just, there's just a bunch of random colors. I just thought it was cute and just put different prompts on like just the random pieces of paper. So there's no rhyme or reason to the color of the paper, but the prompts in here are basically what I'm going to base my reading around. I'm going to try to keep doing this every month because I feel like I always start a TBR picker method and then never end up finishing it or whatever, never sticking with it. But since it is the beginning of the year, in January I did decide to clear off my TBR cart and start from scratch with no physical TBR. That's not to say that I don't have a physical TBR based on all of the books that I own. It's just my mood reading TBR has been cleared, if that makes sense. So my book cart is empty. It does have books that I need to haul on it, and that is literally it. Like there's nothing else on there. So I am going to be picking from my TBR jar this month to see what books I'm going to be reading this month. So to pick the number of books that I'm going to be reading in the month of February, I'm going to roll a die and just that whatever number it lands on will be the number of prompts that I will pick out of the jar. So I'm going to roll a 10-sided die to determine how many books I'm going to end up reading, and I am going to only roll it once since I am doing a 10-sided die, or if you guys want me to do like 2 6-sided ones, or like a 6 and an 8-sided one, or like a 10 and a 6, or you know, whatever. I could do a 20-sided die, like whatever you guys want to see in the future, let me know. But for this month I am going to start with a 10-sided die and only roll it once and see what number I get. Since I'm making the rolls up on the spot as we go, if it's anything below a 5, then I might just roll again. So with that being said, we're gonna do our first roll. Okay, so I got 1. So yeah, I'm gonna roll again, and I will still keep the 1, but I will roll again. Okay, and then I got a 10 that time, so that's just my luck. When I decide to roll again, I get a 10. So that's gonna be 11 books. So I'm gonna attempt to read 11 books this month based out of my TBR jar. So with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and start picking prompts and then picking books to match those prompts. So I'm just gonna kind of reach in here and kind of reach towards, like, shuffle it around a little bit. I tried to like mix it up as best as I could because I don't know what some things are, but some of these I do remember, and I want to try and keep it like to where I don't remember what it's going on, and like I don't want to always be reaching off the top. So this is our first one. Okay, so for this first one we got a book with red on the cover. A book with red on the cover. So for this one I am going to be picking Sincerely Yours by Tessa Bailey, and there is some red on the cover. There are red roses, and the font is like a maroon burgundy kind of color. So I'm gonna count that as red on the cover. And yeah, so this is Tessa Bailey's newest book. It just came out today as I'm filming this. So yeah, I'm not 100% sure what this is about. I just know that this is, I think, about pen pals or letter writers or an advice column or something like that. I'm not sure, but I am super excited to read this. Also too, I'm going to stick the papers in the books, like in the cover, so that way I know which prompt they're for, and like basically have it as like a little bookmark. And then next month when I pick again, I will just leave these papers in the book, so that way I can't pick the same prompt again next month, but then the month after I'll put these prompts back in the jar, if that is making sense. You know, I'm sure you guys will get it, but it's just, you know, we're making this up as we go. So now for pick number 2. Okay, so this is a book with food on the cover. Book with food on the cover. Interesting. I'll be right back. Let me go look. Okay, it took me a minute to find a book with food on the cover, but so for this one I'm going to be reading When in Rome by Sarah Adams, and I will probably listen to this on audiobook, but that is going to be the book pick for this prompt. Okay, so now moving on to our third pick. Yeah, I'm trying to get like down in there and I don't want to like spill them. I got like 3. I'm gonna go this one. Okay, this one is Read a Sapphic Romance. I think, do I have any? Let me look and see really quickly if I have anything on my shelves, and if not, then I will look on KU. Okay, so for this one, I'm going to be reading Delilah Green Doesn't Care by Ashley Herring Blake. I have heard really, really good things about this book, and I'm excited to pick it up. I don't know what it's about, but I have seen it all over the place, so I'm excited to read this one. Okay, so now on to pick number 4. We're gonna go this one. Okay. I would get this one. So for this one, I got a book that is 500 plus pages. Let me go grab something really quickly. Okay, so for a book with 500 plus pages, I'm going to be reading The Final Offer by Lauren Asher, and this is the 3rd book in the Dreamland Billionaires series. This came out a couple weeks ago now, and so I am excited to get to this one. I absolutely love this series and I can't wait to read the final book in this installment. So far, the things that I've heard have been absolutely amazing, so I'm excited to see what I think about this. Okay, so now on to pick number 5. I'm gonna go like deep in there, I guess. Something in the middle. Okay. Got this one. Okay, so this one is a book with blue on the cover. So I do have quite a few of those, but the question is, what am I in the mood to read? Okay, so for this prompt, I'm going to be reading The American Roommate Experiment by Elena Armas. This is the 2nd book in, I guess, what is just a companion series of The Spanish Love Deception, and I enjoyed The Spanish Love Deception when I read it back in 2021, and so I'm excited to see if I like this one, if I like it more, if I don't like it as much, and just what my thoughts are on this book. All right, so we are now on book number 6. Okay, we'll go this one. Okay, this is a paranormal romance. So this is definitely one that I'm going to Kindle Unlimited for, because I don't have a whole lot of paranormal romances on my shelf. I definitely have a lot of like fantasy romances, but not necessarily paranormal. So I'm gonna look through my Kindle Unlimited really quickly. I have one in mind, but I'm not sure if it would fall under paranormal romance or not. So I'm gonna look it up on Goodreads really quickly. Okay, so the book that I'm going to be reading for this prompt is Broken Bonds by Jay Bree, and I double checked on Goodreads, and although this is a fantasy, it does still fall under paranormal romance. So this is the book that I'm going to be reading for that prompt. Okay, on to pick number 7. Okay, I feel like I keep picking the same colored slip of papers. Okay, this one is again a book with pink on the cover. Apparently all of the slips that are this color are like colored picker ones. So let me grab a book that has pink on the cover. Okay, so for this prompt, I'm going to be reading The Reunion by Kayla Olson, and this is a romance about a girl who was an actor, and she ends up going back to the reunion of the show, and I guess ends up having a romance with her co-star at the time, I believe. Something along the lines of that. But as you guys can see, the cover is pink. There's like a lot of pink on this cover, so this fits this prompt perfectly. Okay, we are now on pick number 8. I wonder if I pick with like a different hand, if that'll do anything for me. Okay, I'm pulling out like a bunch of them at once, but I'm going for this one. Okay, this one is black letters on the cover. So let me find something and I'll be right back. Okay, so for this one, I'm going on a technicality and I'm going to do the author's name is in black. So for this one, I'm picking The Bully by Sophie Lark, and this is the third book in the Kingmaker series, and this is a white cover and it does have pinky purpley letters on it, but her name is in black. So I'm going to count that as black letters on the cover because I mean technically it is. Okay, so we are now on pick number 9. Okay, well that one just like jumped out at me, so I'm just going to pick that one. Okay, so this is the one that jumped out, and this is pick number 9. Okay, this is a young adult book. Okay, so for young adult, I am going to go with Blood Marked by Tracy Deonn, and this is the second book in the Legendborn cycle, and I recently read Legendborn a few months ago and absolutely loved it, so I'm super excited to pick this up and read it. Okay, we're on our last 2 picks. I'm trying to see if I can like shake it up and kind of jostle it around a little bit to see if we can mix it up some. So pick number 10, we're going to go this one. This one is a title with 4 or more words. Okay, so for this one, I'm going to be reading Sing Me to Sleep by R.M. Virtues, and this is a monster romance, I believe. I also know that it's supposed to be like really dark as well, so we'll see, but that's the book that I'm picking for this prompt. All right, and so we are now on our final prompt for this month. Okay, we got another blue one. Okay, and this one is a fantasy. So I am thinking, let me go grab it. Okay, so for fantasy, I think I'm going to go with Throne of Glass by Sarah J Maas. It is about time that I reread this series. I have not read the series since 2018, I believe, so it is past time for a reread, and I am wanting to annotate it because when I first read this series, it was like right around when I started getting into annotating, but when I started annotating, I was already on Tower of Dawn, and so I like annotated like half of Tower of Dawn and annotated all of Kingdom of Ash, but I don't have like anything like in the front that like tells me what the tabs mean in Kingdom of Ash. So at this point, I really have no idea what they mean, but I think it's probably very similar to my annotating method now because I haven't really changed my colors up very much, but I definitely have been wanting to reread this. So that is why this is going on this TBR. All right, so this is my TBR for the month, and it looks like a pretty decent like listing of stuff. I'm excited to read all these books. I'm happy that I did end up getting a lot of romances since it is currently February, and I'm definitely in the mood for romances this month. But yeah, so I'm just gonna go one final overview of the prompts and the books that I picked, and then that'll be it. So our first prompt was a book with red on the cover, and it was Secretly Yours by Tessa Bailey. Then we had a book with food on the cover, and that's gonna be When in Rome by Sarah Adams. We had Rita Sapphic book, and that is gonna be Delilah Green Does Not Care. And then we had a book 500+ pages, and that is The Final Offer. We've got a book with blue on the cover, and that is The American Roommate Experiment by Elena Armas. We've got a paranormal romance, and that is Broken Bonds by Jade Bree. Next, we have a book with pink on the cover, and that is The Reunion by Kayla Olson. We got a book with black letters on the cover, and that is The Bully by Sophie Lark. Next, we got a young adult, and that is Blood Marked by Tracy Deonn. We then got a title with 4 or more words, and that is going to be Sing Me to Sleep by C.M. Virtues. And finally, we got fantasy, which is Throne of Glass. So that is the 11 books that I'm going to attempt to read this month. Like I said, we are already a week into this month, so hopefully I can get all of these read. If not, it's no big deal, and maybe I will just add them on to next month's TBR if I don't end up finishing them, so that's an option as well. So I think that is going to be it for today's video. If you liked it, please make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you want to see more. I will have all of my social medias linked down in the description, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.